Imagine a world where you could buy anything: drugs, weapons, even fake identities with a few clicks, and no one would ever know who you are. A place where the law doesn't exist, and anonymity is the most valuable currency. This isn't a plot from a movie, this is real. Welcome to the dark web. And at the heart of this mysterious underworld was a man who ran the most infamous black market in history. A man known as the king of the dark web. But like all kings, he fell. Today, we uncover how Ross Ulbricht, the mastermind behind Silk Road, was brought to justice. Before we dive into the history of the so-called king, let's talk about the stage where this story unfolds: the dark web. Hidden behind layers of encryption, the dark web is a part of the internet most people never see. It can't be accessed through regular browsers like Google Chrome or Firefox. Instead, it requires special softwares to get in. In this shadowy world, anonymity is king. And while it can be used for privacy, the dark web became notorious for something far more sinister: illegal activities. In 2011, a young, idealistic man named Ross Ulbricht decided to change the world in a way no one had ever changed. Born in Texas, Ross was a physics and engineering whiz with a passion for liberation ideas. He believed in freedom, absolute freedom, even from the government regulation. With this mindset, Ross created Silk Road, an online marketplace where people could buy anything they wanted, free from the eyes of law enforcement. His alias, Dread Pirate Roberts, this name was taken from a character in a movie, The Princess Bride, a title that could be passed down to other people, allowing to the real leader to remain hidden. At first, Silk Road seemed like a revolutionary concept. It was like eBay, but for illegal goods, using Bitcoin, a digital currency that was nearly impossible to trace. People could buy everything from narcotics to hacking services with total anonymity. The idea of using Bitcoin on such a scale was unheard of at the time, but it worked. Silk Road exploded in popularity. Within 2 years, it was doing millions of dollars in transactions. People from around the globe logged onto this hidden website to buy and sell illicit goods. And while Ross claimed Silk Road wasn't about crime but about freedom, the reality was much darker. With this level of illegal activity, it wasn't long enough before law enforcement took notice. But catching the people behind Silk Road wasn't easy. Ross Ulbricht had designed the system to be impenetrable. The site was hidden behind layers of encryption, and every transaction was in untraceable cryptocurrency. But the FBI and the DEA had one advantage: they were patient. They began infiltrating Silk Road with undercover agents. They made purchases, traced small clues, and slowly pieced together the puzzle. But Ulbricht had covered his tracks well. He was an expert in hiding his identity, never using his real name and always staying in the shadows, or so he thought. But like all stories of downfall, it was a small, insignificant mistake that led to Ross Ulbricht's capture. In 2011, when Silk Road was just beginning, Ross made the error of using his real name in a few online forums while prompting the site. He posted in a tech forum asking for advice on running a Tor-based anonymous marketplace, leaving breadcrumbs that would never later come back to haunt him. That was the first clue, but the FBI needed more. They combed through years of online activity and finally managed to link Ross to the Dread Pirate Roberts persona. By 2013, the net was closing in. They tracked him down to San Francisco, but they needed to catch him with his laptop open and logged in as the administrator of Silk Road. In October 2013, Ross Ulbricht was sitting in a public library in San Francisco, unaware that federal agents were watching him every move. They had set a trap. As he browsed on his laptop, agents were closing it. In a perfectly timed operation, they seized his laptop before he could close it or encrypt it, catching him red-handed as the administrator of Silk Road. The king of the dark web had fallen. His empire crumbled, and Silk Road was shut down the very same day. Ross Ulbricht, once a brilliant, ambitious libertarian, now faced charges that could send him to prison for the rest of his life. Ross Ulbricht's trial became a media sensation. Prosecutors painted him as the criminal mastermind. running the largest online black market for drugs, weapons, and illegal services. His defense argued that while he started Silk Road, it had grown beyond his control and that the harsh punishment was excessive for a first-time offender. In 2015, Ross was found guilty on multiple charges including money laundering, conspiracy to traffic narcotics, and conspiracy to commit computer hacking. The judge handed down a life sentence without the possibility of parole, a sentence that sparked controversy worldwide. Some argued that he was being made an example of, punished not just for his crimes, but for challenging the government's control over the digital world. His supporters continued to campaign for his release, claiming the sentence was too harsh for someone who, in their eyes, was a visionary advocating for freedom. With Ross behind bars, Silk Road may have been shut down, but the dark web didn't disappear. In fact, more black markets emerged, learning from Silk Road's failure and becoming even harder to trace. Bitcoin, which was once a niche currency used on Silk Road, became a global phenomenon, changing the world of finance forever. Today, the debate over Ross Ulbricht's fate continues. Was he truly the dangerous mastermind the prosecution made him out to be? Or was he a man who believed too much in the idea of absolute freedom and paid the price? The story of Ross Ulbricht, the so-called king of the dark web, is a cautionary tale about the power and dangers of the interest. His rise and fall shows how one man's dream of a free market without regulation spiraled into a world of crime, controversy, and a life sentence in prison. The dark web continues to evolve and the lines between freedom and lawlessness remain blurred. So what do you think? Was Ross Ulbricht a criminal mastermind or a visionary who fell victim to his own creation? If you found this story interesting and want to explore more historical tales, please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon. This way, you will never miss our latest videos about the past.